Hi everyone, I'm hopeful that all you will be fine. In today's session, we will learn how we can get the list of user using the different filter parameters. Okay, so for that, first we need to create a endpoint const variable inside the zoom constants. So we must be place a regions comment called, we say here it is a reports API. Okay, and we have say users. Okay, and here we just need to create a const variable called user, and we say user, other we can users, and just only need to place the value users. Okay, and inside here we must be say users API and reports API. Okay, and at the bottom we need to export users. Okay, need to format, and then we are just going to create an other helper file. We call it zoom users helper.js. Okay, inside that we first need to import the access, need to require access and const, and we just need to import the endpoint const variable. So we need to import zoom constants, say zoom constants, and here we need to import the API base URI and users. Okay, and at the bottom we are just need to build a helper function. We name it get users, and we say async, and either we can name it users list. Okay, so we say async and pass filter. Okay, and just set the arrow parameter, and inside the filter we are using these filter parameters. So first one is the status, and inside the status we can pass three type of values. Okay, so there is a default active, first thing is that, and then we can also pass either active, either inactive, either pending. Okay, so active means a user is exist on account and you are inside your zoom account sub account. Okay, and pending means entity or invitation from the zoom have sent to that user, but account the user have still not activated that account. So we can also filter all those users by pending status, and we also set the active, but if you are not going to set this status, then default will be active. Okay, and then we can also pass the page size. Okay, so page size default will be 30 and max will be 300. Okay, and if the response in the response we have a total number of records greater than 300, so records will be greater than 300, then we have a next page token. Okay, and we can also pass include fields. Okay, include fields query parameter, and inside we have only allowed value called custom fields. Okay, so this is the only value we can pass inside this include fields. So include fields will be if we have set some custom fields on a user profile or zoom user account, then we can just need to pass this include fields and custom fields, and then we must then we have inside the response have a custom fields. Okay, and we can also pass for the more parameters. So we can pass either role ID. Okay, so we can also pass the role ID. So if we are going to filter the users by the role ID, that let's suppose we have a role called developer, and that developer role have ID, let's suppose in this form, then we can just get that ID and we pass as a role ID. Okay, so we set role ID, and we will get the filtered response in the request of that response. And we can also pass the page number. Okay, and I think we have these parameters, only 6 parameters we can pass to filter the records. Okay, so first we need to build the endpoint URI, and we say here users URI, and we need to use the string interpolation, and we set here API based URI, and we also need to append the users, and then here we set status. Okay, so if inside the filter we have a status, then we are passing that. If there is no any status variable, then we are just setting active. Okay, and we can also set the role ID, and we say that if inside the filter we have a role ID, then we are setting that. If there is no any role ID, I think we can add that later. Okay, because we do not have any default value for this query parameter, so we cut from here, and we say page size. Okay, and if inside the filter we have a page size, then we are setting that. If not, then we are setting 300 default and max. Okay, and we can also set, either we can place a check at the bottom. Okay, so here we first check if filter dot role ID is present, then we just append that to the user's URI, and we append int role ID, and we say filter dot role ID. Okay, and if we have include fields, so we say if filter dot include field have include fields parameter is present inside the filter, then we are going to append that inside the user's URI, and we say here include fields, and we just need to append filter dot include fields. Okay, and I think we have a remaining next page token and page number. So for that, in this endpoint response, maybe we have a records greater than 300, so we can use the iterative logic to request until we have all the records fetched from the API using this past filters. Okay, but the thing you must be keep in your mind, this API have a rate limit. Okay, rate limit label light. Okay, so far you can see on the docs, inside the docs here, so it's just medium, sorry, not light but medium. Okay, so in the medium you can see here rate limits. So in the medium APIs we have a 20 requests per second for pro account. Okay, and 60 for business plus. Okay, so that thing you must be have in your mind. So we have a 20 requests. Okay, so we use custom attributes. So we have set it custom attributes. Okay, inside this value, and here I have created a helper function for that iterative logic to request all pages as per the remit label. Okay, so inside the utils we have a page request. Okay, inside I have a passed next page token and page number, and for more understanding regarding this helper, you can just watch my previous sessions where I have explained all the things. Okay, so we can also pass a timeout parameter. Okay, so I think we can pass that there, and we say timeout, and we need to timeout here. okay, because different endpoints have a different rate limit label. So as you have seen, we can request this API limit to the medium. So medium have 20 requests per second for pro account. Okay, so we are currently using pro account for these sessions. So we have a limit 20 seconds. And if we exceed that limit, the request is that we will get the 4 to 9 error. Okay, so that's why I have a placed set timeout logic to keep manage the API rate limit label. Okay, and inside here we just need to create a promise. We say new promise and async, and we say resolve reject. Okay, and here we just need to call we first need to import that. Okay, here so we say const and we import utils. So we say utils. Okay, and we need to pass the page request, and here we call that page request. Okay, and we pass users URI and the filter dot next page token. Okay, and for page number we can also pass the page number. We can first need to create that here. So we say let page number will be 0. Okay, and here we must be set plus page number, and timeout for this API we have a 20 requests per second, so we can only set 50 milliseconds. Okay, so 50 multiplied by 20, we have a 1000, so 1000 millisecond will be equal to 1 second. Okay, and here we check if data dot users, okay, inside that response, then we add or concat those inside the users result array. Okay, so we say here users result dot concat, and we append data dot users. Okay, and at the bottom we also check if data next page token is available, then we set filter dot next page token, and we pass next page token to that, and inside the else part we need to first remove the next page token if that's available, and then we need to call the result to return back users result. Okay, and we can pass this whole logic, okay, this calling logic inside the do while. So we say here do paste, and we call while, and iterate until filtered or next page token is available. Okay, so need to format, then response, return response. Okay, and dot cage error, return error, and plus semicolon, remove white space, format. Okay, I think we have all set. Just need to place a breakpoint here and just stop and start. We can start and just navigate to that endpoint. Oh, we do not have a create an endpoint, so we first need to create that. Okay, but before that we need to import that helper by calling require. We say here Zoom users helper, and we pass users list I think we do not have exported that, so that's why that is not available by the IntelliSense. So we say a users list. Okay, now it will be available, users list. Okay, and at the bottom we just need to create an endpoint so that we can test API/zoom/users. Okay, and need to bind the request handler, request response, and here we say users and await called users list, and we need to pass the request.query. Okay, at the bottom we need to return response.json users, need to format, place a breakpoint, stop, start, and navigate to the browser. Okay, so we say localhost 44000 API zoom/users, hit enter, and we have got some response. So we have only 2 users inside this account. Okay, and I think we do not have a users. Okay, so this is users. Okay, clear. We can start once again. Game start, and we just need to use some query parameters. So we say status inactive. Okay, so let's see. There is no any inactive user inside this currently demo sessions account. We can also filter by pending. So we can see there is no any account by the pending field. Okay, and for the remaining query parameters, I'm leaving those for you. So just please get the code and test all these. Okay, and if you have any query regarding this session, then just please place a comment, your query inside the video comment section. Either you can share your queries or suggestions by my shared contact details, either on WhatsApp, either on email. Hopefully we will come back. Take care. Bye bye.